Hi, Carson. I heard from my son about what's going on soon. He's going to be gone for 2 months on a business trip out of the state, right? I want to say that we all knew that he'd have a large trip at some point for the company, but I was hoping that it wouldn't happen until your daughter became a bit older. Hi, Pam. You have that right. He'll be out of the house for 2 long months. And this is far sooner than I had anticipated for him going on a long trip like that. Well, he told me that during his time away from home, he wants me to be around in case you need anything from me. So if you have any questions or needs, let me know and I'll help out. And even if you don't have anything you need help with, you can always talk to me just for conversation. I'm a retired mother now, so it's always on my mind to step back into my shoes again to help someone care for themselves or their kids. Thank you, Pam, but I don't think him being out of the house will change much of anything for me. I'm still going to be able to get all my errands and chores done while my daughter's in school. And I'll be out of the house sometimes to work my part-time job, so I won't feel too overwhelmed by everything at home. Well, that's true that you'll be busy. I'm sure that my son will be a bit worried while he's away, but now that he's out of the house, you and I can spend some more time together. Maybe all of us girls, including Nancy, could take a day to go out to lunch and do a little shopping. I think that these next 2 months would be the perfect time to do something like that. That's exactly right. I'm sure having him around is the best for me, but it'll be nice to not have to worry about making dinner for him for a little while. Please don't tell him I said that. I'm not going to say a word to him about that. I know that you'll do your best taking care of the house and your daughter as well as your job. But during times like these, it's best that you spread your wings a little. But I'm sure that your daughter will be a little lonely with him gone. That girl loves to go out a lot and play with my son, right? Yeah, those two love to go fishing and camping together a lot. But I hate bugs, so I usually don't tag along with them. Even though she's a girl, she really loves to do things that men normally are interested in. She's in 3rd grade now, but she's always out with all the boys in her class playing in the mud during recess, and she'll come home looking absolutely filthy. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just proof that she's being raised very well. I know that, but by this time, most girls are getting into fashion and makeup and will start talking about boys that they have crushes on. Yet recently she asked my husband and I to get a pet lizard to keep in her room. She really is taking after her father, isn't she? I want to keep letting my daughter do the things she likes, but having a reptile in this house is where I'm drawing the line with her. Well, as a mother, you'll have things that you don't like her doing, and that's all a part of raising kids. But I was so happy to have a little girl. I'd have really liked it if she started to get more invested into cute things like dressing up and playing with dolls. But in this day and age, things like someone's sex and whatnot don't really matter when it comes to what one likes to do. She's a very bright and cheerful girl, and I think that is all one can ask for when seeing their little girl. I think that you and my son are doing a great job of raising her. Thank you for mentioning that. It makes me really happy to hear that from a fellow mother. I really do mean everything I've said. And to be honest, kids will not always turn out the way their parents hope for. That's right. I can't really agree with her having a pet lizard in our house, but as long as she's outside with things like that, I'll let her continue to play with them. Excuse me. I have to head to the supermarket here soon. Oh, it's already getting to that time of day, isn't it? I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time today talking to you. Don't worry about it, Pam. It makes me feel a whole lot better knowing that you're there to offer me some help while my husband is away. I'll try my best not to rely on you too much, but if something does happen here, I'll let you know. Please, and thank you, Carson. And I'll do whatever I can to make sure that you and your girl are okay. Carson, are things going all right over there? Do you think that you can talk for a moment? Or are you guys in the middle of dinner right now? Good evening, Pam. I'm still preparing things for dinner, so I can chat a little. Nancy is still working on her homework, so we aren't having dinner for some time yet. Is she doing okay? Yeah, she's been acting the same way she always does. Well, actually, I'm wanting to talk with you about something related to her. Recently, she's been calling me a lot when it's getting close to our bedtimes. You're saying that Nancy is the one calling you? Yes, and at first I thought she was just calling because she had some free time to talk. But it's been happening a lot recently, and so I'm starting to become a little worried about her. What has Nancy been talking to you about when she calls? I want to know if she's giving you a reason for why she's calling at night. Well, I haven't heard from her directly what the reason is. I was wondering if the reason was something that she didn't want me asking about. But I just thought that it was a bit odd of her to be calling me so often late at night. I did ask her once, kind of with a lighter tone, but she told me it was because you were taking a bath and she had time to talk. That makes sense to me. Recently, I've been in the bath a lot, reading my book or watching movies on my phone to relax. And I'm able to do all of that because my husband is away, and Nancy is at that age now where she can handle herself for short periods of time. But maybe she's been getting a little lonely because of that. I'm sorry for causing all of that to affect you. No, you don't have to worry about that. But I really am wondering if the reason for her calling me so often is because you're in the bathtub relaxing. There are times when she feels she can't hang up on me and the call goes on for hours. And so I'm feeling a sense of anxiety radiating off of her when she calls. That's probably because she really loves talking to you, Pam. And I think that she's just really been wanting to talk to you and hear your voice. Right now she's been having a great time at school. Then I guess I was just overthinking things a little. This week we've been practicing letting her take baths on her own. And so maybe that's been a bit too exhausting for her since she has to sit in the bathroom alone. I'll make sure from now on that I get her out of the bath sooner so she doesn't feel as worried about being alone. I think by doing that, she'll have more time to go about her business and not have time to always call. She's still at that age where she needs someone around her to keep her company. And unfortunately, my son is still out of town, so this is pretty tough on her. I'm sure that's also playing a part in her wanting to talk with you more. But from now on, I'll try a little harder to reduce the time she's allowed on her phone and to make sure that she's not always calling you. You don't have to tell her to stop calling me. And I feel you telling her to stop calling me will make it harder for her to call people in the future. I think I really was just feeling worried about nothing this time. Are you sure? Well, I'll still try a bit harder not to leave her alone as much. So I think when she's in the tub or when I'm taking a bath, we're still around one another to keep each other company. All right. But I'm sure that you still want to take time to have some alone time, so when she has a day off school or it's the weekend, you're more than welcome to have her stay with me. Thank you for offering that. I'll work with Nancy for a bit here, and when things with her have settled down a bit, ask me again to have her over to your place. Grammy? Oh, Nancy, it's been a little while. Yep. Have you eaten dinner and everything already? I already ate. What did you have for dinner today? I had chicken noodle soup to eat. Oh, that sounds so tasty right now. Your Grammy's been having troubles eating soup lately because it makes her belly hurt. Why? Because when you get old like me, you start to have problems eating lots of oil. And you know that chicken noodle soup that Grammy makes has lots of oil in it, right? I didn't know that. But I think what I ate for dinner would be all right for you to eat, Grammy. It was chicken noodle soup from a box. Oh, so your mom didn't hand make the soup this time? Well, sometimes it's nice to have something light like those boxed chicken noodle soups. Well, sometimes it's okay to eat it. But I've been eating it every day now, so I'm getting sick of it. I bet that eating it every day would be very boring. Don't tell Mom about any of this. If you said that to her, she'd get angry at me. Don't worry, Nancy, I won't say anything about this.
Hey, Grammy? I have something to ask you.
Oh, what could it be? Do you have something that you want your Grammy to buy for you?
I don't want anything right now. Tomorrow I'm going on a field trip at school, so I want you to make me a lunchbox.
Your mom isn't going to make one for you to take?
No.
Why won't she make one for you? Is it that Mom has become sick recently?
No. Mom hasn't been home for a week now. So I don't think she knows about the field trip that I have tomorrow.
What?
Grammy, please keep this a secret from my mom. I don't want her to hear about any of this.
I won't tell her a thing, but can you tell me what you mean when you say that she hasn't been home for a week?
She told me she has work and will be out of the house, and said that she didn't want me telling you or Dad. She said that if I said anything about her, that Dad would never come back home.
Your mom has been at work. Your mom doesn't work a lot each week, right?
I don't know.
That's right, you wouldn't know anything about that kind of stuff. So right now you're home alone, Nancy?
Yes.
And when you would call me a lot on the phone, was that because Mom wasn't home? So you called me because you were lonely?
Yes.
Do you know when your mom is supposed to come home?
She said next Sunday.
So another 3 days from now, then. All right, then. Grammy is going to make you that lunchbox to take on the field trip tomorrow. I'll make sure that it's really yummy just for you, okay?
Really? Thank you, Grammy!
Hey, Nancy, do you want to come and stay the night at Grammy's house until your mom comes home?
But if Mom knows about this, Dad will never come back home.
You'll be fine, Nancy. You can come over here as a secret, and your mom will never know. And I'm telling you, Nancy, that your dad will come home no matter what.
Really?
Has your Grammy ever lied to you before?
No, you never lie. Okay, I want to go to Grammy's house. It has been really scary staying here all by myself.
I'm sure it has been really scary for you. Being alone when you're young is scary and lonely. So asking someone to help you is not a bad thing to do, Nancy. Now I'm going to drive your papa's car to your house and get you.
I can't wait. I'll wait for you.
Pam? Have you gotten any calls or texts from Nancy lately? Why do you ask? Oh, I was just a little interested is all. I just wanted to see if she was still causing you any trouble or not on your end. Nancy has never caused me any sort of trouble before, though, Carson. So then she hasn't called or texted you at all? The last time she messaged me was last week on that Thursday. Is that so? Understood, and thank you for letting me know that. Could this mean that you're finally getting around to looking for your daughter? Huh? Well, if it's her you're worried about, she's at my house with me. And so I'd like you to explain everything that you've been up to me. Excuse me, Pam? Actually, my close friend has been in a serious accident and was on the brink of death. So I had to head back to my hometown to go be with her. And why didn't you bring Nancy along with you if you were going to be gone for that long? I had been planning on coming right back after seeing how my friend was doing. But then when I was there in person, time just started to pass by without me noticing. Well, if that was happening with you, then you should have told me or your husband about what was going on. What were you thinking, leaving a little girl who's only in 3rd grade all alone at home for a whole week? I'm sorry about that. I knew that one of you would get really mad at me for leaving the house for a bit, even if it was for a few hours. And I started to worry that you'd begin to hate me for doing something like that, so I was hesitant to tell anyone. But the one who was most worried was Nancy. And another thing, I know that you did not go back to your hometown, Carson. Did you end up calling my parents and asking them about me? I sure did. Well, I didn't go back to my parents' house, though. I was staying at my best friend's house that whole time. Stop trying to hide things from me. I'm getting tired of you trying to make your lie even more complicated than it has to be. I know all about how you packed up a large suitcase full of clothes and everything and left the house for 1 whole week without Nancy. And when I saw you come back to your house with another person to be dropped off, I got a good look at their face in the car. What? And as they pulled out of the driveway and took off, I got a great photo of their license plate and am looking it up right now. So I think you know how all of this is going to end, right? Do you know what we're going to want to say to you? I'm sorry about that, Pam. That was really not something I wanted you to know about. You should be apologizing to your husband and daughter, not me. Does my husband already know about this? Yes. Well, you're wrong. Let me explain the truth to you. For just a bit there, I became too relaxed with myself while my husband was gone. But know that I do really love my husband and Nancy with all my heart. I'm sorry for what you had to learn about, but please forgive me. You had an affair. And not just that, but you also left Nancy home alone a bunch of other times to go on vacation. Do you think I'm okay with all of that? I did not have an affair. Do you really want to make me spit out all the facts to you, Carson? The man that was in that car that brought you home was a man your age. But it wasn't just the two of us that were together. Well, then can you show me proof that there were others with you guys at all times? Well, there were some other people with us that I had only just met. Well, before we continue talking about you having an affair, let's talk about the main problem here. And that's that you left your little girl home all alone for days at a time. And all those times that she had called me a few weeks ago was when you weren't even in the house with her, right? And after talking with you about her calling me all the time, you went and yelled at her to never call me again, right? I'm sorry. If it was just that you had been having an affair with another man, then I'd let this all be you and my son's problem to solve. But you left Nancy home all alone to go out with another man. And not just for a day or two, but one time for a whole 7 days. I am not going to forgive you for something as irresponsible as that. I don't think you're ever going to get to call yourself her mother ever again after this. What has my husband said about this? I think you should know what he's said more than anyone right now, right? What do you think a father that loves his daughter so much would be saying right now? I don't want to get a divorce, though. I was just going out to play with some other men. You left your little girl at home all by herself for days to go let other men have fun with you and think that we wouldn't get upset with you? Pam, I promise that I'll never go behind neither my husband nor my daughter's back again. So please try and help them understand what's happened here. I really love my daughter so much and think that she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I've never meant to leave her behind before, and I don't ever want to get a divorce and lose my rights to her. You told Nancy that if she told anyone about you or about the fact that she was left home alone, that her dad would never come back. That's how you chose to threaten the girl you say you love so much? I never meant that as a threat, though. That was just me asking her to do me a favor. You told her the worst thing that she never wanted to hear from you, and that was that her father could never come home if she talked about you. I'm telling you right now that you have left your daughter behind by choosing to scar her so that you could go off and have sex with other men. When children are at their youngest, they are the most vulnerable to being hurt by their parents' actions. And those scars will never heal. I'm sorry. I really messed up a lot this time. So that's why this week-long trip was going to be my last time, because I knew that what I was doing was stupid. I'm telling you the truth right now, so please believe me. I don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth after what stupid things you've gone and pulled. And that's because you lied to me about all of it.
I have not. I'm telling you that not all of this has been a lie. Please, Pam, give me one more chance to make all of this right.
You are the one that made yourself lose all the respect you had gained from me. You would apologize to me for any of the troubles that Nancy was causing me when she called over and over again. But you forgot to apologize for all the troubles you were causing us. At this point, you can go ahead and run off with whatever guy you'd like that isn't my son. You're the only person that's willing to lie to your own child and then lie to her grandma and father, right? So you can go ahead and live a life outside my family. After that, Carson and my son got a divorce, and in that divorce, my son got full custody of Nancy. And so now he's back home with me, and we all take care of Nancy. This is something that I only learned about after the divorce, but apparently Carson was with other men for well over a year before we found out. And the main man that she was fooling around with happened to be her boss from her part-time job. But he wasn't the only man she had been with during that time, as there were 4 other men that she would go out with when her husband was away for business. And we also learned later that what she meant by there being other people with her and the men that she went out with for a week was that she had been with her boss and another couple that had all participated in sexual activities together. It was both very disgusting, but also relieving to find out all of this about her, because she would only ever go out with these guys while my son was on business trips, so both him and I never knew a thing about Carson being out of the house. And had she not left the house for over a week, leaving Nancy on her own, we may never have known about what Carson was doing with all those other men. But I guess this time Carson became a little too daring and wanted to be around her boss and other men a bit more than before. And having left the house multiple times while leaving Nancy at home all alone, I can't believe that she never saw how lonely it was making her daughter. I think all of that really created a lot of scars for Nancy, but I'm so thankful that she had the courage to tell me about it so that my son and I could take action. And as for Carson and her boss, he apparently had a wife himself that he was still around. And so, in the end, Carson was forced to not only pay a settlement to my son, but also had to do the same to the wife of the man she thought was worth having an affair with. And of course, since my son got full custody of Nancy, Carson will be left paying child support a long time now until Nancy turns 18. So for the next 10 years or so, she's going to live life under all the troubles she's caused herself. And hopefully while being in deep regret about all of it. I hope that length of time is enough to teach her that she never really cared about her family, and should just stay the whore that she is for the rest of her life. Nancy was really sad at the time of the divorce, but over just a couple of months, brightness began to fill her eyes again. And right now, she's back to being the happy girl we love as she runs off to school every day. And after the amount of time she was left home all alone with nobody to keep her company, whenever there is someone home with her now, she's so excited. And as for my son and I, we are so happy to know that there will be no more family around her that are willing to lie and threaten her. I will do everything I can to make sure that my granddaughter doesn't have to relive those memories. So for now, I'm going to make sure that her and I are always around each other, and that she has someone she can count on to help her when she needs it. And in the place of her missing mother, I'll be there to give her the love she needs to grow up strong and cheerful.
Seth, I've been told the day that I'll be able to get out of the hospital. They say that I'll be able to come back home in another 3 days.
I see. On that day, I'll take the day off of work and come there to get you.
You don't have to do that for me. They're going to call a taxi that allows wheelchairs to take me home in.
Cammy, I'm so sorry. I'll do my best to support you in any way I can to help you get back on your feet, literally.
You don't have to blame yourself too much over this. It was also my fault for dozing off while we were walking along.
You being alert wouldn't have made any difference. It's all my fault for crossing that bridge behind you while looking at my phone the whole time. Because of that, I ran into your back at the stairs down the bridge and you tumbled all the way to the bottom. And because of that, you're in a wheelchair now.
They never said anything about me never being able to walk again, though. The doctor said that as long as I continue my rehabilitation, there's a good chance that I'll be able to walk again.
Well, that's just a possibility, right?
Don't say that like it'll never happen, okay? I'm going to put my best foot forward to make sure that I can stand on both of my feet again.
I'm sorry.
And the other thing is it's lucky that this was all with you. If it was some random stranger that had done this to me, my mental state would be so much worse.
I don't think so. Look, your legs are...
Well, if you're going to be so upset by what's happened, then why don't you promise me to never do something like that again? The next time you do something like this to me, I won't be so kind to you.
Of course. I'll never even look at my phone anymore while I'm walking. I'm so very sorry, Cammy.
If you're understanding of my feelings, then we can stop talking about all of this and move on from it. Stop with all your pouting right now, and go back to being the cheerful man that I came to love.
You are so strong, Cammy. Are you really not that upset with me right now?
Well, you're my husband, Seth. Is there any point to me being upset with you now, after all that happened is in the past?
But for a while now, you're not going to be able to walk.
Whether I held anything against you or was angry with you, those emotions would never help me get my legs back. So that's why I'm going to let the past go and move forward to a life where I fight my hardest to get better. I'm going to keep moving forward, and so should you.
And that's very true, but...
So now we're going back to this?
I'm sorry.
Hey, on the day I get out of the hospital, you really do not have to take the day off work. So you can come see me when you're out and we can celebrate. We can call it a celebration of me being released from this cold hospital room.
All right. Then on my way home from work, I'll get us a huge cake. What do you want to do for dinner that night?
I wonder if I'll be able to cook as well now that I'm in a wheelchair. I think for a little bit I won't be able to make much at home.
Then how about we order delivery of some kind?
That's a great idea. I will have to be working on making the place more accessible to myself when I get back home. And so I wouldn't be able to get anything together for dinner anyway. So I'll order something while you're coming home to be delivered.
If you need any help with anything, I'll help you move the furniture around when I get home.
Thank you. But I'll let you know about all of that after I give living in a wheelchair a try to see how everything feels.
All right, I'll leave that up to you then. I'll do anything you need me to when I get home.
Seth, can you make sure to buy some vinegar on your way home from work today?
Why do I have to?
It's been raining all day, so I haven't been able to get out since it's hard to move in a wheelchair in the rain.
Well, if you had bought yourself a poncho before, you would wear that and go. All you do is sit around at home every day now, so you have all day to go out and shop while I don't.
I'm just asking you to buy me some vinegar. There are stores all along your drive home that you can stop at and grab some.
Then I don't need any dinner from you tonight. I'll eat something on the way home.
Huh? Why would you do that instead of just stopping at a store for 2 seconds?
You ran out of vinegar. And you never bought yourself a rain poncho, so this is on you.
I mean, I guess you could blame me for that. But saying that you'll eat out tonight because you don't want to buy a single bottle of vinegar is a bit strange.
That's not the only reason for me staying out to eat. Coming back home to you always getting in my way is such a pain.
Getting in your way? I don't think it's okay to say that about me.
Your stinking wheelchair is huge and blocks everything. I feel that being at home with you around is starting to raise my blood pressure.
I can't do anything about that, though. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere without the wheelchair.
Who was the one that said that they'd put their best foot forward to be able to walk again? And when you said there was a chance of walking again, was that a lie?
Don't say that to me. I said there's a chance that I will be able to walk again as long as I keep going to rehab. That wasn't me saying that I will walk anytime soon. And I'm still going to rehab every day almost, and I have no plans of giving up anytime soon.
You are so full of it. You have everything handed to you because you're disabled and the victim. And anytime you want to go somewhere with me, I have to push you around, and at home I'm always forced to care for you. I'm putting in so much work and it's all for nothing.
You're saying that helping me is supposed to have merits or something? Do you not remember that me having to live in this wheelchair is because of you?
And we promised to never bring that up again, right?
Sorry. But with everything you're saying to me right now, it's making me really sad. At first you were saying you'd always be around to support me. But now, you've slowly been getting colder and more distant from me. And while you've been distancing yourself, I've still been putting in 110%.
Don't tell me that you've been putting in that much effort. I don't see any results from whatever efforts you speak of. I have to sacrifice my life to take care of a defective woman now. So I think you better try harder to make some of this up to me.
Defective woman? You've been thinking of me like that?
Well, you can't walk now, can you? And when I'm not around, you can't do anything. And when it rains, you can't even get out of the house. Even if you were still normal like the rest of us, then you'd be able to handle yourself.
I never wanted to hear that from you.
What? Are you going to start blaming me some more? I've done my best to stay quiet and never mention anything about wanting a divorce, all while taking care of you.
You want to get a divorce?
Of course I want to. But both of your parents and my parents would tear me a new one if I were to mention anything like that to them. So I have to be responsible for everything now. But not if I'm going to keep being blamed for every little thing.
So you've been saying around me so that I wouldn't get angry with you?
I'm tired of this. Talking to you is awful. You'd be the one getting screwed the most, so why don't you just shut up and let me be for now?
Seth, don't you think you should come home right after work so that you and I can talk about all of this more?
But it's a freaking pain having to talk to you. I'm going to do what I have to, okay? So stop trying to talk to me about anything, because I do not have the patience for it. But if you can't keep yourself quiet and keep coming at me with all your complaints, then I'm going to leave you for good. I know you're the victim, so you can just shut up about it already.
Seth, I have something I'd like to talk about. Do you think you can come home as soon as you get out of work?
I don't think so. I have a lot of work that just keeps stacking up, and so I don't think I'll be home tonight.
You've never had to work that late while working for that company before, though. And I was doing the same sort of job you're doing now, so I know that it doesn't get that busy.
Well, I don't think you understand this company.
But my dad is working in the same kind of company as you and says that this is not the busy season, even for you guys.
Stop trying to compare what this company has to get done with whatever his company is doing. Right now, everyone here is very busy and has a lot of things to handle.
So we're not even going to be able to have a normal discussion anymore, huh?
We don't have anything to discuss, do we?
Well, I do.
Then you can tell me right here, right now on the phone. I'll take a look at what you have to say later after you're done typing.
Then I guess I'll let you know right now. Seth, you've been cheating on me, right?
Huh? What? Do you have any proof of that?
I found a letter in one of your suit pockets. It was from Valentine's Day, and it had some things written on the inside of it.
What the heck? You're going to start doubting me because of that? I just happen to be really popular with a lot of the women around town. So every year I happen to get a lot of Valentine's Day letters and cards from them.
But this one is asking what hotel you want to stay at next time on it. This would mean that you're cheating on me, right?
I don't know anything about that. I bet whoever was writing that was doing so as a joke or something. Stop trying to tell me that that letter is enough proof to say that I'm really cheating on you.
So after all the times you've been staying outside of the house these past few months, you're going to try and hide the truth from me now?
I'm not trying to hide anything from you though, Cammy. You already know that if I'm to throw you away, your life will be over, right? You're still in that crappy wheelchair, and you've gotten old. I don't think there are any men that will be willing to marry a defect like you now. So even if you were to find out that I've been cheating on you, you wouldn't be able to divorce me.
And that's why I'm saying you don't have to try hiding that from me anymore. You could have just told me that you knew about the letter in your suit pocket, and we could have carried on from there.
Well, you can't consider some letter that I get all the time from random women as proof. You're freaking out so much right now that I'm having a laugh. What do you want to do about this? Do you want me to tell you that I'm cheating just so that you can feel something again after sitting in that thing for so long?
So you have been cheating on me then?
I've had to live with a crippled woman. So don't act as though me having some other women around to play with is such a bad thing.
You're such a jerk, Seth. I understand very well now that you're not the same Seth that I fell in love with. A mess up as bad as you had nowhere else to go but hell.
Shut up already, Cammy. I've been trying so hard to have a life of my own. You've always gotten in the way of it. And because you fell down those stairs, I have to be the one to care for your butt. I didn't volunteer for this job, Cammy. I've said this a lot now, but you should be thankful that I haven't thrown you away yet.
I'm not thankful for you at all now.
Don't you say another freaking word. If you try and talk back to me again, I will seriously leave you. A piece of crap in a wheelchair like you needs to shut the hell up and listen to me.
Calling me a piece of crap is pretty brave of you, Seth. But I can walk again.
Huh? You can walk now?
Yeah. I've been able to stand up now on my own for over a month. And as long as I have some things to support myself with, I'm able to walk.
Stop trying to give me such BS lies. Just a few days ago, you were still in that wheelchair.
That's because I didn't want you knowing that I could walk again. I wanted to take a little bit longer to find a lot of good evidence of you cheating on me. So I played the part of a cripple for just a few more days.
What?
If you had known that I was able to walk again, you might have stopped going out with those other women, and I would have missed my chance to get heart-proof. And having you come back home all the time again would have annoyed me. I also didn't want you trying to change back the Seth you used to be before the accident.
But for over a half of a year, you weren't able to walk. Are you actually able to start walking again that quickly?
You're shocked right now, aren't you? Even the doctors were shocked to see me walking again so quickly.
Have you really been able to walk again?
That's why I'm telling you right now that I have. If you don't believe me, then come home right now and see for yourself.
I see. All right. I'll be home as soon as I can after work.
And we're going to be talking about getting a divorce tonight, okay?
Wait, what the hell? You were finally able to walk again and you want to get a divorce still? Are you saying that since you don't need a wheelchair anymore, you don't have a use for me?
Why should I have to continue being married to the man that cheated on me with multiple other women?
You have it all wrong now, Cammy. You were just a bit upset right now and are overthinking things about what you saw. Did I ever say to you that I was actually cheating on you?
Why do you think I've been so quiet about things for the longest time now? I told you that I was using that time to make sure I got all the evidence I needed. And that's a lot more than just this letter. Me wanting to leave you now isn't because I can walk again. I've been getting ready to divorce way before I was able to stand again. And another thing, these texts are being viewed by both your mom and dad right now.
My parents? Why them? Why are you doing this?
Because I knew I was going to be divorcing you for a long time now. I made sure to do all of this so that you couldn't run away from me. And not just that, but also my mom and dad are watching this conversation play out. So I think it's best you stop trying to make excuses for things and just come home. And remember that there's no use in trying to run now, so just come here after your work is finished and we can move on with things. I'm not going to run or hide from you, so don't try doing that with me.
Cammy, please. Can you please come back home?
I can't. I'm busy with a lot of things now. I have to get a lot of my things ready to move out, and I need to stop by a few different places to work on some legal things.
I left that last girl that I was with though.
Is that right?
So can you please come back and try to make up with me? I want to help you with your rehab again, and I want to make things as smooth as they can be for you as you transition back to walking on your own.
Are you not embarrassed by saying things like that to me? Have you forgotten why this is all happening in the first place and how you treated me a few days ago?
I think that I was a real jerk back then. I know that I was, and it's not okay.
So then you should know that something like that, making up, isn't going to work.
I'm sure this is going to sound like more excuses to you, but those times were hard for me as well.
Huh?
I've been blaming myself ever since the day I put you in that wheelchair due to my negligence. And having to come home to see you in that wheelchair every time was torture. And so I just couldn't manage my feelings about you and what happened any longer, and things happened because of that.
So that's why you started to say terrible things to me and cheat on me with other women? And went and did things on your own without even telling me?
Deep down, I never wanted to do any of those things. It's just that after seeing you like that all the time, I wasn't able to control what I did and said.
I'm done here. At this point, talking to you any longer will make me blow a fuse. I want to hand in those divorce papers soon, so please sign them. If you don't have them signed by the middle of this week, I'll have to take all of this to the court and have it settled there.
Wait a second. I told you that I don't want to get divorced.
Did I ever say that I cared what you think? And didn't you threaten me before the divorce saying that if you let me, I'd be done for?
That wasn't meant to be taken seriously.
You don't want to get a divorce now because my dad had to sit down and say a few things to you, right? You both work in the same field, and he would begin to start saying things about you that might threaten your career, right? And what makes things worse for you is that your boss is best friends with my dad ever since college.
That's not why I don't want a divorce.
Then why? Are you upset that I found out about you cheating on me and don't want to pay the settlement for that? Maybe it's that and everything else. You're afraid that if others find out about this that you've been involved with, they'll start to come after you.
I'm sorry. I'm really so sorry for everything. I really dropped the ball on our whole relationship by doing all those crappy things, so I'll never do anything like that again. So give me another chance.
I think I've given you plenty of chances already, don't you? The reason for me wanting this divorce right now isn't because I've finally become able to walk again. You starting to become distant from me and cold caused me to start to think. And when you kept on calling me crippled, and in your way I didn't try to fight back because I was giving you the chance to come back. I wanted you to warm up again to me and close that distance you made.
Cammy, I'm so sorry.
But with every chance I gave you, you only became more and more hateful towards me. You then started to run away with other women and would really get heated when I tried to say anything to you. And when I was having a tough time, you were never at my side to help me feel better. You had plenty of time to make things right with all the chances I gave you before my love for you went cold.
I really am the worst man alive. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry.
It's too late for that game now.
No, Cammy. What am I going to do if you divorce me now? There's nobody that's going to come and help me after this. Cammy, please help me. Please.
When I needed you to help me, you were off making love to other women and calling me horrible things. Now I don't feel a dang thing for you. It wasn't just my legs that you ended up hurting. You did a far worse job to my heart, and it'll take forever to heal from that than what happened with my legs. If you really do feel sorry for what you did to me, then you can apologize by never talking to me again. A few days after all of that, I received the divorce papers in the mail signed by my husband. I think after a few days of not talking to me and cooling off, he started to realize what he'd done by hurting me so much. But all of that hate from him, and the amount of times he cheated on me, was unforgivable. So me leaving him for good was the right option, I think. And another thing that's really caused me so much pain was that he threatened me by saying that if he divorced me, I'd never make it because I was in a wheelchair. I really thought that he was the kind of man that understood the pain I was in after the accident. But he never once actually thought about how I felt. I'm sure that things like this happen a lot with families, and having a family member end up in a bad accident where they can't walk anymore. But I think that most would come together after the shock and make sure that the afflicted is supported for however long it takes for them to heal. I feel though that had I not been paralyzed from the waist down, there would be some point in which Seth's true character would come out and cause a divorce. After the divorce, my dad did not hesitate to tell a lot of people about the kind person Seth is. And since then, he's been walking a thin line when going out to work. And I've heard that the last woman he had cheated on me happened to be one of his co-workers. And so when that was figured out, his salary was cut and he had to go on unpaid leave for a bit while HR dealt with things. For someone that cared so much about himself and nobody else, he's really let himself go through all of his actions. 3 months after the divorce had happened, things had become so harsh for him that he ended up quitting his job at the company. And anybody that knew him stopped hanging out with him because they all looked down on him for what he'd done. And so I don't really hear anything anymore about what's happening to him. But I think it's over for Seth, and he'll never be able to return to the life he had a year ago before the accident. And I've already gotten my half of the properties in the divorce from him, as well as my settlement, so there's nothing else I need to know or hear from that man. I don't even care about how he's going to survive now without a job or much money, and I shouldn't have to, right? I've been lucky enough to get back in touch with the company I worked for before the accident, and they've allowed me to start working again from home. And because all of my friends and people that my dad has introduced me to, I've been able to stay busy with work and my life, and haven't had to worry about having food to eat or a house to live in. But I'm still very reliant on having my cane to be able to walk. So I'm still going to rehab to make sure that my muscles grow stronger and my mind stronger as well. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to freely walk without some kind of tool ever again, but I'm going to keep on training in hopes that one day I can. Even if the potential for that is really low, if I keep on putting in a lot of work, the chances will continue to grow for me. And along with that, I'm going to keep trying my best to maintain the life I've been given now. And will never forget all the strength I've had to make it this far already.
Emily, your dad ended up working in construction for a while and still has connections to it, right? I remember hearing that from him while at your wedding and wanted to confirm that it was him. Yeah, you are right about that. Sandra, why do you ask about him all of a sudden? Do you need him to do something for you? No, I was just asking is all. But actually, I have to move out of the house I'm living in right now. And since this has come out of nowhere, I'm in a bit of a pinch. That's really tough, actually. Was there a reason for all of this having to happen to you? Well, apparently the landlord's kid is coming back here. And he's asked me to leave my place so that he has a place to give to his kid. Of course, he's going to be paying me to leave the place, but I haven't been able to find a place to move into yet. It's all happened so fast, and I kind of feel like it's a bit unfair of him to do that to my husband and I.
I get what's going on now. That does seem pretty unfair of him to do that, but I remember hearing that you and your husband have been late on some payments, so maybe he's just had enough and needed a reason to get you out. Sorry for suggesting that. But anyway, why did you want to ask about my dad? I don't think he'll be able to help you out much in your current situation.
Well, since he's worked in house construction and knows it all very well, I was wondering if he knew of any new places that I could buy. I've been looking around where my husband works, but I haven't been able to find anything good. So if it's okay with your dad, I'd love for him to show me some places.
But he just worked in building houses and most of the time was in the office anyway, so he never went to any of the job sites. And most of those houses that get built are by people paying them to build, so it's not like he's been building them to then be sold. You'd have to talk to a realtor about things like that. So I don't think he's going to know of any places for you to go.
What? Are you sure? He doesn't have any friends working in the realtor business or anything like that that he could refer me to?
That's a completely different line of work there. But I can at least give him a shout and see what he says. He might know some realtor groups that he's worked with in the past that you could go talk to.
Well, if you don't think he knows anyone, then we'd better not bother him. But right now, I am really in a pinch. I don't even want to have to leave the place I'm at right now or this area.
It can be pretty hard finding places to live in areas as expensive as that of where your husband works. And even if it was cheaper there, it's a competitive spot, so people would be buying a lot quicker than you most of the time. Maybe it's better to look for an apartment in the area again and then wait a bit for the market to settle down.
I'd love to do that, but I'm not wanting to stay in an apartment again after this. Man, searching for housing is so tough. I'm sure it's been tough for you too, right? So you have to understand how I'm feeling right now.
What was tough for me exactly?
Looking for a house. Because you're in a wheelchair, right? You have to find a house that's accessible for you and a part of town that allows you to get around. That had to have been hard, right?
You make a good point. There aren't a lot of apartment buildings with elevators either, unless they were built in the last 20 years. And I want to get out of my place by myself sometimes. So when I was looking, I became pretty frustrated by how very little accessible housing there was.
Right?
Well, even though that was tough, I don't have to worry about it much anymore.
Why not? You're not going to be living there for the rest of your life, right?
Well, my husband and I have had a house built for us. And we made sure that it's really open and very accessible for me, as well as that it's in a place we want to live forever. So I'm living here with no problems whatsoever and hope to for however long I'm around.
Huh? Hold on a second. What the heck? I never heard anything about you guys having a house built.
Well, we have been pretty busy back then, and the whole move into it and everything. And the construction of it took a lot of time out of our day as well. Even now, I'm still doing some things in the house to decorate it, so I'm not quite at the point of telling everyone where I'm at yet. I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. I guess I should have since you're family.
Huh? So your husband must really be bringing in the money for you guys. I'm pretty jealous that you get to be with someone like my little brother.
Well, he's been doing a really good job taking care of me. Even to the point that I feel I'm not doing nearly enough for him.
And you are right to feel that way. You are in a wheelchair and probably don't make a penny for you guys, nor can you please him the same way other women can. And I bet you don't even get any of the chores done there.
Actually, I'm doing all the chores still.
Do you really think there are chores that you can do while trapped in that wheelchair? I bet all you do is ride around with a broom and push things around, right? So calling that doing all the chores is a bit much. Are you trying to make fun of someone that's putting in a lot of work as a real housewife?
I see. I'm sorry for making it sound that way.
You don't have to bother with apologizing to me. I can see that that's the way you get a house built for you then. You have to be very thankful for him and all the money he had to sacrifice for that.
You are right.
Oh, well, if you happen to run across any houses that look good and near my husband's work, let me know, okay? I have to find something by the middle of next month or we'll be doomed. See ya!
Sandra, excuse me. I've noticed that some things for you have arrived at our house, but did you mean to send these here?
Ah, yes, I did. I'm sorry for not mentioning that to you earlier. I was forced to move out of my place and have to come to you.
So you're moving in with us?
I heard about this from my dad. He told me that he's going to be living with you both there. And that's the reason you had that house built as well?
I know I just asked this, but I need to ask again. Are you actually thinking of moving in with us?
Well, of course I am. Why else would I be sending a lot of my things over to your house?
Does your mom know that all of this is happening? Right now, everyone is out of the house, and so I can't ask them what they know, but I'd really like that you ask them first before sending things to the house like you're allowed to be here already.
Well, they won't know anything because I haven't told them yet. Do they have to know that I'm coming for me to move in there?
You're asking me that question? Coming into our house this quickly isn't a simple thing. What are we going to do about all of these things you've sent here? Right now, I can barely get around the front of the house with all these boxes in my way. Sorry for the clutter. And you shouldn't have to be thinking that, right? I'm going to be there tomorrow to take care of all those things, so don't feel as though they'll be sitting around for days. So can you do me a favor and move all the packages into an open room? Thank you. No, this is not the time to be saying thank you. I have to check with your mom and my husband about this first. And I'm not going to decide on all of this myself without getting their feedback, because this is their house too. Oh, come on. What are you talking about? That house that you have right now is built on the land that my parents own, right? We did have this house built on their land with the intent that we have them come live with us. But does that have anything to do with you forcing your way into this house? You know it has everything to do with it. That land is my parents' land. And so that means that place is the new family house. And if it's the new family house and I'm family, then I can move there whenever I please. Well, I guess one could say that. But what you're doing and what you're saying are two different things. First, let me go and talk with everyone else about this, and then we can make a solid decision. What do you mean? What I'm saying is different. Why do you have to check with everyone first before letting me move into my family's house? Do you really think they're going to say no to what I'm doing? Because this house is no longer just your parents' place anymore, but mine and my husband's as well. My husband and I were the ones that paid for this whole house to be built. And yet you're trying to move into here without letting anyone know? No matter what the situation is, you have to talk about what you're allowed to do before making a move. My gosh, this is the reason why? Let me tell you something. I think that me living there with my parents would be a lot more beneficial to them than having you there. What is that supposed to mean, Sandra? You know what I'm implying, right? Someone that's disabled and bound to a wheelchair is not able to get as much housework done as a normal person, right? Do you think I'm going to leave my parents in your hands? I told you this before, but I am still able to do all the chores in my state. I can even get a lot of cooking done, and so there's no need to worry here about living with me. If there was, then none of this would have happened in the first place. But even still, that's less than what a normal person can do, right? Or maybe this is something else. Are you having my parents take care of you because you're pretty much useless? That right there is pretty screwed up, considering that they are both getting old. That is not what's happening here. You can say whatever you want, right? I know in reality you are putting my parents through a lot of trouble there. You're the cause of all their problems now, and that's why you won't own up to it. You're afraid they might have to kick you out of there. Even if that's what you think is going on here, you are still not allowed to just barge into this house and say that you'll be living here without everyone in this house's answer first. Please, just wait for me to talk to your mom and my husband about this first. You really are a pain in the butt, Emily. And that's why I'm having to get into that place now. Now that you understand, can you move my things to an open room? I'll be coming over tomorrow, and there is nothing you can do to stop me. Sandra, when are you going to be coming home? I have lunch and everything made up for you now. Oh, I'm